Oh my God, that's a ding. Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. We have a kind of around the world bit of a hangout today. And for some strange reason, this is the sort of a perfect time. How's this time for you, Spiro? Because it's earliest for you. It's like what,
It's not bad.
8:30, quarter to 9?
Yeah, it's 8:40 in the morning on Saturday.
Yeah. So that's not too bad.
So, yeah, it's fine. I'm normally awake by now. It's just when special lady friend is still asleep, I have to talk a little bit quieter, but she's awake today, because that's fine.
Oh, that's good. Perfect. I told my special sexy lady friend that you call your significant other that too, and she gets a real kick out of it. So, you know, we have this group of women who shall not be named. So it's been a while since we've chatted, so I thought, you know, hey, what the hell? Today's a perfect day. We have nothing to talk about specifically, but I'm sure lots of things will come up. I'm just checking. I have my little messaging box open, so if anybody is around and wants to watch and wants to ask questions or comment, feel free as usual, and I'll try to pay attention to it. I'm not always the best at paying attention to it, but we'll give it a shot anyway.
How do you do the chatting thing? Sorry, I'm interrupting.
When you go to the actual video, I don't know if people. All I know is from the side of hosting the chat. And
Yeah.
if I go to my page where the video is going to come up, there's a little chat box on the side, and I think it's like 3 little dots that you push, and you can say pop out chat, and then it'll pop out a little window that then you can have beside. I have it just to the side of the main viewing screen that I have here, and then I can just click on it and check, and it's just the live time, real-time chat.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
So, what's new, everybody? LahRasa?
Well, nothing really. It's nice in the evening. I'm drinking. So, good morning to you, Spiro. So, cheers.
I'm out of coffee.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, no, nothing really. It's Friday evening, and I'm not doing much, which is kind of weird. But I don't plan anything this weekend, so that's perfect for me. Friday's usually the best for me, actually, to even do chats, because usually nothing really happens on Fridays for me. I know it sounds a bit boring, but hey.
Yeah, no, there's nothing boring about it. It's life, you know.
Yeah.
So you went recently with Ghost Critic and Dr. Monkeybot. You went to the London Comic Mart, yeah?
Yes, I did. And it was a fantastic time. I mean, I wasn't really thinking. Well, I'm the one who goes there more often, because I'm living, driving-wise. Let's say I live from London, that's where it happens. I live about maybe 45 minutes away, driving the car. So my husband generously offers me to drive there every time Sunday, because Sunday in London is actually quite good to drive in. It's not so many traffics, and it's actually quite free to get into the center. You don't have to pay anything. So it's somehow lucky enough I married the guy who can support my craziness, and then he does that for me. So I go there, and then this time the guys managed to come, which they don't come as often. Wish they would be coming there more often, because it was nice to chat to them. You know, just sit down in the pub, have a drink, just have a general chat, see how they feel about stuff and stuff like that. So it was really good, actually. Really enjoyed it.
I was under the assumption, and maybe obviously the wrong assumption, that everything was fairly close together. Like there isn't, so because I think Dr. Monkeybot was saying that Ghost Critic is kind of the farthest away. So when we're talking farther away from London, are we talking like a 2-hour trip, or how long for him?
Well, I'm not really sure how far is it by train. Usually takes train, or sometimes he comes with his partner, but I'm not really sure. I mean, it's more than 1 hour basically. It should be around 1 hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. It depends, you know, what kind of transportation you take. But yeah, and for example, like Dr. Monkeybot, he actually needs to take the train, and where he's living is quite far away, honestly, because you have to change, I think, a couple of times, and just to get there it takes time. So yeah, I'm usually the closest one. So yeah.
And then there was a convention going on as well, because I heard all of you saying that there wasn't as many vendors this time as there usually is.
Yeah, well, funny enough, Comic Mart has changed dates, because before there used to be every first Sunday of the month,
Okay.
And this time they have like kind of random dates, and they somehow it became the date of the same time as London Super Comic Con. It's a big comic convention in London. It's not as big as Thought Bubble, which happens in Leeds. I mean, we're trying to be as big. I think this time they invited lots of guys and artists. So yeah, we didn't. I mean, I didn't think of anything because I would think that those vendors who are there in that comic mart usually, you know, they're not the very big ones. But I was so surprised that they actually closed off the one of the rooms or the halls in the hotel, and they was actually really small. I mean, there were just a couple of them, and none of them were offering. And like you see the rows and rows of 50p bins, that kind of thing. And this time there was like you have to look and think twice before you're actually gonna go and look at it. Because a lot of guys, there was a couple of guys where they have books which are not really protected well, but they charge such a crazy prices. I didn't want even to go there. I looked it up and I was like, why would you charge for something which is not even back, looks so, not even sexy grade, like super sexy grade.
Yeah.
And he's charging like £5 for it. So I was like, oh, that's
okay.
So you had to basically think before you do it. Usually you go in there and like, oh my god, where do I go first? Because there's so many of them. But this time was really small.
Yeah.
But you know, it happens sometimes. Unfortunately, it happened this time. And yeah. So and they were making some video there. So that was a bit weird as well. Yeah, there was a camera action. There was this poster saying, "Oh, be there. There's a camera." So it's like, okay. I was actually weird. I was picking one box, and they distracted me completely because there's a camera just approached, and they talking to these actors or whatever. I don't know who they were or something. And then they said, telling how to do it. I was like, fuck, just leave me alone. I want you to do my thing.
Yeah. Just digging through the boxes.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you have Dr. Monkeybot, who's like, he knows everything, and somehow he finds everything, and even though he doesn't appear there all the time, somehow these senses, they call them spider senses, just goes off, and then there you go, he goes with it, and I don't know if you have seen this video, in his whole video, it's like Silver Age after Silver Age, like, oh, what happened?
Yeah,
I was there.
I just watched his video yesterday, I guess it was. It's an incredible, he got some fantastic stuff, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I went there when I went and I saw him picking up some daredevils. I was like, where did you get this? And he just pointed a direction, so I went in there just to check. He's like, there's nothing good in the left. I mean, I believe you, but I just wanted just to check.
Yeah.
But I managed to get a couple of books he didn't want it, so I was lucky.
Nice, yeah.
So that's what a couple of daredevils I picked up there for cheap.
Yeah.
Needle low numbers, which I've never paid like £3 for a low Daredevil number. Like
oh wow, that's how much they were? £3 each, so like $6 kind of thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they are sexy great. I mean, like one of them have water damage and the other one have, but you know, it's readable, and that's what you know, like filler. So you want that to be. So yeah, it was wonderful. Ghost Critic was there as well. He was like looking through and making sure, you know, he gets stuff as well. So it's really cool. It's an experience, I think. When you're by yourself, you know, you go into that thing where you're like, I'm concentrating, I want to find something. But when you have people around you, I got really distracted because I was going towards the Dr. Monkeybot and just ask a couple of questions because I just wanted to chat. It was just so cool. But they were like, go away, I'm concentrating.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun.
So
honestly.
You didn't get any video of him digging like you said you might try.
In this kind of the small room, that camera and the atmosphere was just kind of a bit weird, and I was like, we were like, if you want to find something, you kind of had to hurry up because there was quite a few people, and they always get a crowd, not as big this time, but still, you know, if you want something to find, you know, you go there for comics. You know, at the end of the day. So that's why you travel so far away. No, not far away. For some, like Ghost Critic is quite far.
Yeah.
So, but fun.
So how's your getting rid of comics going there, Spiro?
Still on my to-do list.
Oh, really? Okay, so they're just still standing by. Have you? Because you were talking about, I don't know if you can talk about it or if you want to talk about it. You were talking about some options of getting rid of your comics and stuff, including one thing that you would put on, possibly.
Yeah, well, there's so much other stuff been going on that I just haven't had time to focus on it. But I've got a lot of books and a lot of comics I want to sell, so I've just been tossing up whether I'm going to go and take them to someone and get bugger all for them and just get them out, or whether I'm going to try and do the to sell them myself. There's an online trading website here in New Zealand which is like eBay. It is, the people on it are just complete muppets for the most part. You know, you can't, you struggle to get good deals on comics because people on there for the most part don't know what they're selling, think that all comics are fantastic condition and worth a crap load of money, and they it's just unrealistic. So, but people buying comics also seem to have an unrealistic expectation as well of postage costs and all sort of shit. And last time I tried to sell books, it was just such a headache, a headache. I did a recent batch of selling some Star Wars trading cards, and I had a couple of people that were a bit finicky. I bought some cards. I had one guy that sent me a card in an envelope, right, full-size envelope, one single card. He had cut out a piece of what looked like backing board from a comic in a weird shape that wasn't even the same shape as the card. It was a little bit smaller than the card.
Yeah.
And it was loose in the friggin' envelope. And the card came undamaged, but I was amazed.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
So when you say you had trouble with the people for the cards, were they finicky because they really wanted a certain quality, or no matter what you had offered, they wanted cheaper?
It's usually because they don't want to pay what the postage costs. Or, they don't want to pay what the postage costs, and they don't want to pay for packaging, but it just, a
bit of a nightmare,
mental.
I actually have the same thing. I was trying to get rid of a couple of I have issues with the storage, so I have to get rid of some of the stuff. So I tried to go on eBay. I usually do on eBay some of the stuff. So I started setting, and I had this one customer who's like bid it on something. He didn't want to pay for the postage. I was posting it. So he sent me a message saying, "How dare you put in such a price on the postage and packaging?" I was like, "Do you want your comics to be protected?
Yeah.
You wanted to make sure they arrive safely here, or is that a problem?" Outrageous! I've never seen prices like this before on eBay. I was like, "Hello." So it was like, she still bought it. The person still bought it, but are just crazy. Some people think that you postage, they don't care that some people, like when you buy on eBay as well, if you do a chance of buying on eBay, some people just put it between two something, or they put it in between two of these backing boards. Yeah. Putting in like a really brown envelope, really thin one, and then send it through and hope for the best. I don't do that. I mean, I said that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to specify as well when I post something, saying, look, I'm doing it because I want to make sure your comics are safe and sound, and mine less headache for me. But
then it's always a headache no matter what. Yeah.
I had one psychotic woman years ago when I was selling books, and she bought 2 books off me, and it was I was like, each book was both of them together was less than $10, and she refused to pay more than $3.50, which is what a postage bag costs with the postage stamp on, and she didn't. Well, that was what the cost of the stamps was. I can't remember now, but I was like, well, I want to wrap it and package it and put it in a, and she's like, oh, you're just profiting off all this, and I was like, what? I like one of these books, both of the postage combined, would have been more, it would have been more expensive to buy just one of these books than what I'm charging her for 2 in postage.
Yeah.
And
well, and I think. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, in the end, I ended up getting 2 pieces of printer paper, sellotaping them together, writing her name in felt pen on top, and sent them to her like that, because that was exactly the $3.50 that she wanted to pay. Yeah. Right? I'm amazed that they got there without being torn up, but she gave me positive feedback.
Did you
I
hear
left
from her?
Yeah. Well, she left me positive feedback, glowing feedback.
Yeah.
I left her neutral feedback because she was such a difficult customer, and then so she changed her positive feedback on mine to negative.
Oh.
I didn't know you could do that once you've done the feedback.
You
That's
can on this
hilarious.
site. This is not eBay, so this is a
Oh, I
local
see.
site.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I mean, I had copied her original feedback, so I replied to it and said, "Ha ha ha, you're psychotic. This is your original feedback." She cancelled her account on there eventually. But, God, just
See, I was gonna say, I think some of it does come from someplace, though. There's been times in the past where I have been definitely overcharged for the shipping. You know, even like what it's come in, and then seeing, you know, especially seeing the postage amount that's paid. It's like, well, I gave you double that amount, so I mean, how does that even work out? So I think, unfortunately, and I remember when I was selling on eBay not too many years ago, just some CDs, like for a very, very, very brief time. When I was using it, they gave you a list of options that you had to choose one of them, and all of the options they gave me for like selling one CD were so overpriced that you have to choose one. So I would choose one, but always leave in the body like it's not going to be this amount. I will tell you when you buy it, we'll work something out, and it'll get to you safely, and it'll be reasonable. Because again, it was almost like double the actual amount that I sent these out in, and they were sent out really well packaged, and nowhere near the cost of what they were claiming it would be. So I think it's kind of set up against you to some degree, that people are maybe used to getting ripped off a little bit, you know.
Well, the thing is, they think that I'm making money out of postages, and I was like, well, don't you think it's not only for the postage I'm gonna have to charge you, but of course for the packaging. I don't have packaging in here with me all the bloody time, so I have to get my envelope, I have to get my whatever I have to get. So yes, I charge you £1 for that, and then I charge you for whatever. And then, well, you didn't specify that on your description. I was like, well, I specified it was a description saying, well, this is going to be charged for your postaging.
That's
and
right.
She bought like 12, no, she bought 30 books from me. And then, she's like, and she got it like, and I said, well, of course you have 30 books. I'm not going to send you via, you know, like, whatever packaging that, whatever the big packages that I'm going to send you a couple. Yeah, because I wanted just to have like something happen. And I was like, oh, you're just so outrageous, how dare you, like kind of thing like that. I was like, okay, you know what, I don't have, you know, I sent her a book anyway. And then she's still complaining, and I was like, okay, I mean, I can't. I mean, I don't know what to do. You know, some people think that the packaging and everything else is for free, because, I don't know. You know, I do understand that you see the price on the postage, and it says like, let's say £5, let's say this way, and then they charge you £10. So it's like, what, you know, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. But you have like a package like cost you like £3.90, you know, and you charge £5. It makes sense, doesn't it? £1.10 extra on top of it because of the packaging. Yeah. But I guess some people don't understand that either, because they want it, or they're really cheap, or something like that. So I don't know. Anyway, so yeah.
I wonder if it's also a bit of like buyer's remorse too, because they see, you know, you see these great deals, and then all of a sudden when you get your invoice at the end, it's like, oh my God, I actually spent a lot of money. I didn't spend 50 cents on books. I spent $20, you know, like it's all of a sudden keys in that, holy shit, this actually costs a lot to ship. It's one of the main reasons, like, as much as I toyed around with the idea, it's one of the main reasons that drove me to try out this convention at the end of the month. Because I honestly just don't want to deal with all that. It sounds like a nightmare. I know from my previous life in like 2000 or so, selling a lot on eBay, that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And that was like selling records and things. But I just know that the comic community type people who are buying comics on eBay are going to be a lot more finicky than even the record guys were, they were fairly finicky, obviously, but it's a different level when it comes to collectibles and comics, I think, you know. So, but again, I don't know how successful I'm going to be at the convention either, and that's one of the things I'm going through now as well, as just far as like pricing, because I know that I've got to really find that narrow window of a price range where I feel comfortable selling it at that, and they feel comfortable buying it at that, like, because you want them to feel like they're getting a deal, right? And it's really find that little window of what I think sounds reasonable, and then trying to put myself in the place of going through a convention and seeing books at this price. Would I walk away, or would I actually stop and buy some? Because the end of the day, I just want to get rid of this stuff, right? So, but I also want to feel like I'm not giving it away is the other thing, right? So it's a real tough balance.
Well, I think I mean I've never sell comics on you know like, but I'm just feeling like when I go buying comics from like Comic Mart, I'm looking, you know, like, so if you want to sell like your comics at the end of the day, when you go to look at, of course, every single one of us want to sell it. I mean, buy it for very cheap.
Yeah.
As cheap as get, you know, the deal, you know, that's what we're hunting. You're like a drug addict, you know. I think we're gonna get a shot, we're gonna be happy, you know, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at the end of the day, I look at the quality of the comic books as well. So if the comic books are in spectacular shape, you would think, okay, fine, you can charge. But you know, some people, like I said, that a couple of dudes I saw in that Comic Mart, they were having all those rows of comics, but nobody approaching them because the prices are unreachable.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just going to interrupt quickly.
Yeah.
My screensaver went on, and that caused my Chrome to crash. So I'm going to have to shut down my browser and join back up again in a couple of minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. We'll be here. Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good point, right? Like. Yeah. Depending on what your quality is, I like to think that my stuff is in pretty good shape, like in pretty good condition, because I've really taken care of it. But I mean, again, that falls into a real category of like, what's good to me might be, oh my God, didn't you see this? Didn't you see that? Didn't you know? And to somebody else's discerning eye that just has a different taste of what they want out of their books, right? So I don't know. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I just got the newest price guide in the mail the other day, so I'm gonna check that out and see how many millions of dollars I can charge on my comics, you know, so make a fortune.
Well, I think if you lower your expectations as far as you can, because at the end of the day, you say you want to get rid of your comic books, so there's some certain titles, you know, whatever your passion, whatever towards them you have the feelings, like let's say this way, you can I don't know. I mean, I think you have to be a mind of your seller anyway. So you know, the trip you're gonna make. The petrol you're probably going to have to spend, the fare you're going to have to do, you have to make those money back. It doesn't make sense then. So I think if you, I mean, it's my food thought. If you have a couple of bins of cheap, and then you have a couple of bins, you know, you say that is collection or something, or you know, some people like sell it in bulk, and then that's how you make the money as well, because it's more attractive sometimes when you see the bulk of this, and you say, and then you can kind of negotiate. I always love that, you know, when I see, I mean, I see a couple of like bulks of this, I always pick them up or ask how much they are and see if they can, you know, like open to negotiation in that sense.
Well, and that's totally something that we've talked about doing, me and the guy that I'm sharing the table with. And I mean, it's literally a 2.5-minute drive from my place, so it's not costing me anything as far as fuel to get there. It's really close.
Wow.
It cost me $25. It cost us $25 each to get a table for the day. So I mean, the amount of money that we're putting into it is so minimal. Yes, I bought myself a price guide. I probably would have anyway, because I've got a collection of price guides now, and I like to have them just for myself anyway. So it's really minimal as far as what we're putting in, but that's exactly the same thing we were talking about. We have already a box that's going to be a 50-cent bin of comics. We've got both of us have some kind of mini runs or longer runs where we're just going to package them up, and hopefully they move as like, here's issues 1 to 10 of whatever series, or issue 1 to 15 or whatever we have, and just try to sell them as a pack instead of trying to divide them up. Hopefully that'll work. There'll still be some stuff that's divided up as well, single issues, but I'd like to try to put as many runs together as I could just to make it more attractive to buy, you know. Plus, part of me also wants to be the guy that's like, wow, I got some great deals from that guy. But I don't want to be the guy, holy shit, that guy had no idea. I totally took advantage of him, you know what I mean? So, that was an idiot.
It's a fine line you're playing around with. It's like a skills, you know, like where you're gonna be happy and where your customers are gonna be happy.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, as long as I make my $25 back, that's great. Obviously, I'd like to make more, and obviously, it's to just get rid of stuff, but I mean, let's be honest. The money that I do make, I'm going to turn it right around there at the convention and buy some books. So it's not really, you know, I'm not putting it towards the house or anything, right? So it's just going to get rid of some comics just to make room to bring more comics in. So
exactly.
Jay Rocks is watching there, and he says, hey guys, what's up? We've been here for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. Jay Rocks, nice to see you, sort of, I guess, or looking at us. Is everything okay there, Spiro? You're still there. You didn't sign off or anything.
Oh yeah, you can hear me now still?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we can still hear you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I disconnected and reconnected, but it was pretty quick, so
hmm
I ninja'd that.
So, what else? You guys have anything else you wanted to talk about specifically? Is there anything good you've been reading from all your back issue hauls? And
Well, I've been reading this. I've been showing you that. I think you were sending a tweet and saying that you're gonna be. I'm surprised. Everybody's talking about, like you talk about characters and you kind of form your opinions without maybe reading the comic, and then you're reading the comic and it's like I'm kind of surprised. I'm not saying. I'm blown away. I'm kind of expected to think what to see from Wonder Woman itself, but actually what I was really surprised is that those small details, how she became to be in this, for example, run, and then how much the gods were involved in her, who were like kind of shaping her, who she was, even though you have those Amazonians and stuff. So I've been enjoying it. I like George Perez, and then George Perez covers are just spectacular. I like high detailed art, and he is one of the best known. I mean, I have New Titans whole run picked up because of basically him most of it.
because of his art, yeah.
Yeah, because I just really like it. And I mean, I like the characters as well. I like kind of group. But I always like, because people, lots of people talking about her, you have your new 52, I didn't read that. I mean, I tried to read it, I picked up a couple of online issues, but I didn't continue because, money and stuff like that. But seeing this and reading it and, finding out small details, how she became to be and what's her powers, how she got the truth of Lasso, that was really cool. I actually, like it. And I just wanted to see her personality. Hopefully, in further I go with this issue, I'll see more of her personality, because now she has kind of a personality, but now she's going to Earth for the first time, like in this issue. I think she's going back to bring the pilot.
So what issue is that? Like 3, 4, 5?
That's number 3.
3, yeah. Yeah, I'm just I finished the first issue and I'm kind of halfway through the second issue, and I mean, because I made sure to send you that tweet there. Like, I was blown away by the first issue, to be honest. I really liked it, and it's just funny because it's not like I never knew about Wonder Woman. I followed the New 52 Wonder Woman, and I really liked that series, but I was really surprised how much I liked that first issue. Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I happen to find it all digitally for free, so I figured, what the hell, I'll just take a shot at it, and I really liked it. And the Perez art, even digitally, the Perez art, some of those pages are incredible. The picture that I tweeted, where it was kind of her, where she had the bracelet on, and then the panels in the background, was such a fantastic image. I really liked it. So yeah, I'm hooked on it. I think I have the first 10 issues, but it's one of those that I wouldn't mind finding actual floppies for. Maybe just collect them. Have you read that run, Spiro? Have you been a Wonder Woman fan at all? No.
I have been, but not that particular run. I don't have. The New 52 was kind of arse, so I stopped that. The run before that, I was getting quite. I got a lot of them, like up to the 600. And that was quite good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's worth checking out, these ones for sure. Sorry, go ahead.
I was surprised I got it for like really cheap, 50p per book. I was like, and they're in such a, and the guy has in this, when you go to 50p bins and you go to those, the bags are like sticking. And you like thinking, when you're opening it up, I was like, what the hell am I going to find inside? I mean, you can see it is sticking around you. So I opened it up, and the books are flawless. I was like, this
really?
issue, it's perfect. There's no dings in the corners, there's nothing. And he's placing them in the packed long box, where you basically barely can remove them all. So when I saw this, I just took the whole lot, and it was the 30 issues of them. And there were no bags and boards. Yeah. I was like, took it out. I'm buying this. I didn't even look. I mean, I saw just this first issue, but because Cammy Reader 1717, she always talks highly of Wonder Woman because of the character and stuff like that. And that's the thing. People are talking about it, and I'm kind of, for back of my mind, I was thinking, so what do I know about Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
I honestly haven't read much. I haven't. I mean, I read there and there, issue you pick up there, you read it about it, and then but never knew kind of exactly what origins issue like story it is. My basically of superheroes knowledge is most of the times through cartoons. So
Okay.
so I was like really chuffed to finding this, and of course when you see George Perez, like it's like a score, because I just like,
How long was he on the run for? Because I think it was in your video you were saying that it just is so detailed. It took a long time to keep up.
it's not gonna. It hasn't. I don't know exactly which issue. I'm just looking at those issues now. I'm not really sure which issue he has stopped, but I know it wasn't a very long time because I've seen it up through, because I like to see the art inside as well, so I looked through them. And then I haven't seen, because he started writing it that run, I know, after that.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that either, yeah.
Yeah, he was writing. Let me see this issue. Well, he has always saying the plot and layouts. Like, for example, in issue 9, his plot layouts. And then the finishes is Bruce D. Patterson, which I don't really know. And that's issue number 9.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not really sure. I really didn't do research. I don't really do kind of stuff like that. I just go and immerse myself in the book and just see what I find it.
And just get it. Well, I mean, it's hard to not do it when it's that cheap.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, they say on eBay, this kind of, for example, this book is quite pricey already because the movie, Batman, Superman stuff. Yeah. That it heightens up a little bit, and this one I think has Adam Hughes covers.
Okay.
Further more, and which is quite popular in that sense, that run. So yeah, and John Byrne as well done that run as well from 100.
Oh yeah.
So that's
cool. No, it was a nice surprise for sure. Like I said, that it was a great read.
Yeah, it's surprising, isn't it? When you read something from that age and you're like, you don't have any expectations. I think that's the best part. And you're like,
that's exactly it.
Well, the story actually fits and kind of goes well. I want to know what's happening next, Because
I think that's a big thing for me. I think I have this, late 80s and into the 90s. I mean, I have a general dislike of the 80s in general, but I think that really sets my bar really low. As soon as I figure, 86, 87, how good can it be? It's not going to be that great. So I think that was also a nice shock that I am an idiot. I don't actually know what I'm talking about. Yeah. What about you, Spiro? Anything you're reading that you're loving? Besides, of course, Dune, that is.
No, Dune is the only thing I'm reading.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm sticking to it because I love the cover art.
It's great.
Oh, that's really beautiful, actually.
Yeah,
Wow.
The book I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
It's a thick one, eh?
Yeah.
I've never read this.
About 200 pages. This book is as dry as the sand dunes it's talking about.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So even though it's so dry, this is actually lets you you're interested what's going to happen next, but flipping the pages.
No, not really. I'm just reading it because we're talking about it on my forum. So I would have, if it was just me reading it on my own, I would have given up a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't like the writing style. I think his plotting is slow and. In fact, actually, I was thinking about last night. If I hadn't watched the movie, like I watched the movie when it came out first time in the 80s, but I just watched it again before starting to read the book. If I hadn't have watched the movie, I wouldn't have made any sense out of this book whatsoever. I'm completely losing track of which characters are which. The names are all odd, so they don't sit in my brain well. That's probably more a commentary on my brain than the book, but we won't go there today. But it's like the only way I'm trying to remember who the characters are is by their actions, and then thinking about their faces in the movie.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, I think that I would have just been lost if I had just read this without the movie.
I totally agree with you, and there's been friends of ours who have expressed interest in the book too, and I've told them the exact same thing. You know what you should do if you really want to read the book? Watch the movie, and then even beyond that, because I watched the 3-part miniseries as well. that kind of gives you even more detail that the David Lynch one didn't.
Right.
That really, by the time I finished that 3-part series, I was like, oh, that makes more sense, because they came into a couple of plot points that was like, oh, that's why they're doing that. That's because it wasn't made clear even in the first movie. And I find I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm reading the book and I'm visualizing the scenes. Oh, this is this scene. These are the characters that were in it. Okay, now let's go, and I can follow it. Because I'm actually enjoying it, but I totally agree with you. If I hadn't seen the 2 things previously, I don't know if I would know what the hell was going on. And again, I don't know if that's just my reading. I like to think that it's not completely that. I think it's also the way that he's presenting the stuff. And like you said, the world is so dense with these characters. It's hard to keep up with. This guy's doing what now? Why is he doing this? Who's this person? You know, it's hard to kind of visualize it, I think, without those movies and TV series. So I think I'm enjoying it a little more than you are, but I think I don't disagree with you at any stretch. You know, I really think you need that beforehand.
I don't dislike it, and I think that's partly why I'm still going with it. But it's just that I think that, as you said, the term, how he presents it is part of the issue, where I think it's his writing style is like I do prefer more action-oriented books where stuff is happening a lot faster, and but I think also maybe that it's a sign of the times of the era that he was writing, where a lot of speculative science fiction was that, I'll use the term dull, but maybe that's the wrong word. That's how my brain perceives it. It's just, to me, it's just dull writing. You know, it's very. He's not as pedantic as some of the other authors that I've read, but it's very. I don't even know how to phrase it, but I think it's like a science nerd trying to write a book with action, or some other authors have felt more like a banker trying to write an action novel. You know, just everything is just so rigid. Yeah.
Well, you made a good point on the forum that one of the guys that you work with really likes it, and the reason he liked it is because it's this whole big world that this guy's built. And I think maybe that's kind of where it also gets lost too. It's this idea that I've created this whole world, now I've got to write a story within it. You know what I mean? And it's not so much about the story, because the story is basically like political struggles to some degree, and balance of power, who's got the power, how power transitions, how religion plays into it, all those kind of things. It's just that it just has to be said because I've created this world already, so I better write a story because I've got got these fucking sandworms I've got to use. So, you know, part of it is like that. Yeah, for sure.
I think one of the other comments.
I'm glad I'm reading it finally, but
And I want to on principle to finish, but I just I may end up stabbing myself before I get there.
Well, and that's the other thing too, right? Because I don't know if you know, LahRasa, we kind of have this idea of starting a book club. It can be comics as well too, but so far it's been kind of sci-fi novels have been what's kind of been presented. And every month just do a specific book, and then all of us suffer through it, and then we trash it and tear it down online afterwards. So yeah.
How do you do it online? Like on the website that do you?
On his message board there on his Castle Redskull, there's just a thread dedicated to book club. People.
So for those watching at home, insert ad.
Yeah.
CastleRedskull.com.
It's true. Yeah. It's a good place to go. I'll make sure that I put a link in this afterwards too.
Yeah. It's,
I've seen it on Twitter. You know, you guys. I've seen you mention that, and you mentioned this. I was like, I'm gonna go check it out just to see, you know, because interested. But I never bloody do it. I'm sorry. I mean,
I'll keep reminding people.
There's one of the stupidest excuses people always give you, but that's kind of like true. But yeah. I'm definitely gonna. You can sign up to that as well, so you can get your like. Okay.
very, very
It's,
easily.
it's only been open for like a couple of weeks, I think. So we've,
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
it's been pretty good. Like we've had Roberta Loaf posting a lot of in-depth discussions on some very strange sci-fi novels, and I want to get more female opinions on there and readers. Cammie signed up and
Oh
hasn't
yeah, that's
been.
right.
My special lady friend has been talking about signing up because she reads a lot. Like
Really,
she can
hey?
sometimes read a couple of books a day.
Oh wow,
Oh.
holy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Some people can read, huh?
Yeah.
yeah, she does speed reading, and I can't bring myself to. I just struggle with that, so it takes me a long time to read a book. So.
Yeah, for sure. It's the same here. Yeah.
Or when I used to live in London, now I don't live in London. When I used to live in London, because you commute like an hour to go to work one way. So I read books, like I used to have a stack of books I finished in a week time, done, sorted. Now, no commuting, no reading.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I can't keep up with some of the comic books. I've been reducing my stack of new comics to the point where I was like, you have so many back issues, and you're like, did I read them? I mean, have I even looked at them? I actually opened the book. I mean, I get excited when like, oh, look at me, I'm having it, and I'm putting it in my box, and I forget about it. Next time in 10 years, I'll look at it back and think how awesome that was when I picked it up. Book. That's stupid. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so so I decided to reduce my pull list as much as I can.
Yeah.
So I can actually give a chance to those back issues, because now honestly, some of the weeks I pick up a couple of new books and I read a couple of older books, and I just look at them and like compare, like, oh, I like the old stuff really a lot. I mean, the story is better, there's more to it. I read new book and I was like, what did I read? Did I just read that?
Yeah.
It happened a couple of times, so. Yeah.
Well, it's the other good thing. I mean, it's an extension of YouTube. Period. Just doing this book club on the forum. It just makes it more enjoyable reading these books when there's a couple other people that are reading it, and you can just talk about it or praise it or trash it or whatever. It just gets me. By no means do I collect paperbacks, but over the past couple of months, I've managed to amass quite a stack of them from trips to Valley Village and thrift shops and stuff. There's just been so many great stuff for so dirt cheap. I can't possibly say no. It seems crazy, but it helps. I mean, it just makes it more enjoyable reading these books and just having people to talk to about it for sure.
Well, that's what I keep on saying to all the time, and like if it were not for YouTube, I don't know. I mean, I like comics a lot, but new comics, for example, I probably wouldn't keep up the pull list. Because I get, you listen to the like comic roundtables, watching them and talking them. Travis is always, like talking, and all of them talking and excited, and you're like, I actually would like to read it because sounds very interesting. And then if you wouldn't have that, you probably, you wouldn't think about it. I mean, some comics people read, and you're like, I would never look at it honestly, because sometimes it just doesn't catch your eye. But because of YouTube, what we do. And generally, you get so excited about it. I feel like a kid all the time picking up something like that. And like, oh my God, it's like the best thing ever. And it's just because you're gonna read it, you're probably gonna enjoy it. And most of the times, I pick up something, I enjoyed it. Not those like sometimes you pick a book and you're like, oh,
it's a chore.
What did I do? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm finding now that I'm not getting new issues, I'm enjoying the roundtable quite a bit. Because I feel like instead of reading the books, I'm still getting my fill of what's going on with them. And it kind of helps in a way to some degree. I can hear about it and kind of talk about it or whatever, but I don't feel the need much anymore to rush out and like get them every week, There's a couple of stories that I miss, for sure I do, but generally I find that even just watching the roundtable helps just with kind of getting rid of that craving, I guess,
Oh, so you're not picking up at all? Like you both don't?
No, I haven't had a pull list for I don't know how long now. I haven't had a pull list for quite a while because of our job in the wintertime. I always the new releases, the new issues every Wednesday. Those are the first thing that always gets cut from the budget. I park my car, and those are the two things that happen to help save money. And I mean, occasionally I will pick up the odd issue here and there, especially ones that I'm reading with my son. I'll pick up some of those sometimes too. But I mean, even in that side of things, we have quite a stack of issues that we have to catch up on. There's been no need to go and pick up new stuff even there. We're just behind, because he's only here once or twice a week. so we only have a limited amount of comics we can read anyway. So this way we can catch up on these storylines that have wrapped up and kind of start fresh in the summer again if we want to, you know. So.
I mean, I find it. I mean, I still want to have new books because I've noticed it how much there was a gap when I didn't read. I mean, I was picking them up, but I haven't read it. So I had a stack of books like this much, which I haven't read, and I was like, looked at that stack and was like thinking, why I'm buying it? That was like between December and January. Like, why I'm buying those new books if this is there lying, I'm not doing anything. So why spending money, you know, for that issue when they come out? And then I read them all and I got up to date. I was like, oh shit, that's really good. And you kind of remind yourself why you want to have it kind of weekly, because when you start getting back on that horse kind of thing, you're like, okay, this is good. I want to know what's going to happen next month. So yeah. So in a way, I mean, I lowered it a lot because of the prices. I think that's what kills me now. I become very finicky when it comes to that. I know it's just my own choice that, you know, like, I become really like harsh critic when I pick up, like, say,
that's good. That's good though.
$3.99 book, or, you know, even number one, like $4.99, like Marvel does now. You pick it up, you read it, and you're like, okay, did I enjoy that? Did I actually like? And I start picking, and I'm like, why there's not enough story, you know, kind of too much, so many ads. And maybe because I have a choice now, such a choice of picking up new titles and the prices. Of course, that's nice to have a competition, but I sometimes feel like there needs to be more quality if they do charging that much.
Totally. I think that's also a nice side effect of the YouTube thing too, that I don't think always gets talked about, that because you do these videos, you just naturally become more critical. And that's a great thing, to be more critical of what you're engaged with as far as entertainment, you know, because who's got time? Like Spiro said, if it wasn't for doing this book club, he would have given up on Dune. And who's to say that that's a bad thing, right? There's so much out there that if it's not engaging you, I mean, what's the point? You know, this is time you want to relax, and who wants to read something that's a piece of shit and has nothing to say to some degree, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, that's the one thing that special lady friend the one thing I've always said, one of my mottos is, life is too short to read bad books.
Yeah.
and she's slowly coming to this realization as well. She's like, there's so many other things she could be reading. She used to power through a book as well, just try and read it faster to get through it. Yeah. But I think that lately she's just been going, if it's crap, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just no patience. It's because we're all old. I just want to completely change the topic here because I'm so excited about this. I wanted to share it with the two of you. I got this from the library, and it's incredible. I've pretty much, there's not much reading in it actually. There's the first kind of third of the book or quarter of the book is some articles by people like Jay Lynch, Trina Robbins, about women's comics in the underground. Dennis Kitchen does a little bit of an article too. But the thing that has blown me away about it, I guess there was like a collection doing the tour of, I don't know if it was art galleries or museums or what it was, but it was a lot of the original art from these underground comics from the 70s. So they've taken photos of them and included them in the book. And it's amazing. I'm trying to find one that has really good, because some of them have they have the notes from the artist in the borders. You can see some of the blue line sketches underneath. You can see they're cutting and pasting different images. And of course now I'm not. Yeah, there we go. So there's like an air parts. I don't know how much it's going to show up, but it's just these fantastic photos of these original pages that is amazing to see in a book like this. It's released by this Abrams Comics art company, and they've done a couple of things. The other one they've done that I own is a book about pre-code horror, and it comes with like a DVD and stuff, and there's some amazing art and reproductions in there. But this one has been such a great read, especially that Jay Lynch article at the beginning, because he kind of talks about the history of undergrounds and how it all started and how it was distributed and what his idea was, why they kind of went away. really, really insightful from guys who were actually there and who they were working with and why they were doing it. And one thing that never really, I guess, clicked with me is he kind of says at the time, if you think Marvel Comics at the time, they were selling for 12 to 15 cents a piece. A lot of the books that they were putting out were anywhere from like 25 to 50 cents a piece. So really just showing that these were kind of in a different world as far, not only price, but where they were obviously displayed, where you could buy them, that sort of thing. Really, really good. I have this other book that's a history of underground comics, and in this couple of articles, I feel like I've already learned more, and it's been more entertaining and appealing than the other book. And the other book is notable for the guy who was 2000 AD as well. I'm blank. Des Skin put it together, and he's come under a lot of fire for actually stealing a lot of stuff for that book, a lot of people's articles, and not paying them, Trina Robbins being one of them, I think, and really just plagiarizing a lot of places. And already in this book, I feel like it's way more engaging than that one is. Just the way the other one is written really doesn't do it for me. But if you have any interest in underground stuff, you should check out your library, because it's a really, really great thin book, but so much info in it. That's what I got to say. That's the one that I've been reading that's blown me away, you know, amongst other stuff, but that's the one that really, as soon as we got home from the library and I started flipping through it, that was it. I was gone for 45 minutes, you know, just going through each page, right? So.
Or did you find that in the library?
Yeah. Every week we go. Lillian has there's like a reading group for 2-year-olds. So we go every Wednesday. We sit in the reading group, and then we play with some of the kids in the library, and then we take out some books, and then I kind of have a chance to just browse around, and discovered a really great section of the library that has a lot of history on comics and books with interviews with people like Will Eisner, etc., the usual suspects, EC Comics, all that sort of thing. But a really, really great resource there, and a really good selection of books too. So.
Can I see the cover again, please, if you don't mind?
It's a Robert Crumb, but I think it's on there, the Abrams Comic Arts website, which is just abramcomicsart.com. It's really great, though. It's a real good one.
Oh, cool. I'm buying it on eBay. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, on eBay.
No, I just found it. It's
But it is there? Oh, okay.
It's
I also saw it on Amazon as well, too. I don't know how Amazon works for you in the UK. Well, there's Amazon UK, right? So.
Yeah. We have that. We're not
that.
No, I just don't know how some of these translate sometimes, as far as like if it's worth it to even go on Amazon for things like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's on Book Depository as well.
Yeah, it's £7.
It's how much? Sorry.
£7. I found.
7.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Book Depository has it for almost 56 New Zealand, but that's including shipping.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's well worth it. I just see here that Why Not Art Tony is here. Hello, Tony.
Tony, how's it going?
He says, "What's up, guys? It's some of my favorite folks having a chat." Oh, goody, that underground book looks really cool, Terrence. Nice. I'm actually heading to a function tonight at the Society of Illustrators for Zap Comics and National Lampoon. Oh, wow, that's very cool.
Wow.
Are some of the artists going to be there talking about Zap Comics? Tell us more.
We expect a full report on the video, Tony.
Absolutely, yeah. Video would be great. Smuggle a camera in there.
Just in your shirt pocket at the top, have the camera facing out, and just
totally.
Yeah.
Just wear a GoPro on your head. It's common now. There's no problem. Just say you're a cop and this is your police camera.
On your head.
Yeah, that's right. Perfect. Oh, Tony, we're building a wall. We're building a wall, Tony. Escape Canada while you can. You poor bastards. My God. I don't want to talk about it. But did anybody hear anything about the Republican thing last night?
What's a Republican?
If you haven't, you should really just search a little bit just for comedic value. Literally talking about the size of his dick at a Republican campaign. Like, you know, these are people that are running for the president of the United States. And he's talking about size of his fucking dick. Like, it's really sad in a way, but that's all we'll talk about. I promise we won't say any more. I promise. I don't want to get into a political discussion.
Yeah.
I'll get even redder in the face than I already am.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's my big book. Anybody else have any other exciting books they've read? Comics they've read?
I can't think of it. I know one I think I'm getting sad about is the Rachel Rising is finishing, which is I'm just mad. I mean, his writing is superb in his title. I mean, every single book that you pick up is kind of thin because he does everything with his studio in his studio and writes and draws, even though it's in black and white. It's full on pages, perfect like expressions of people. The storyline really flows well. It has the mystery. It has really great characters in there, and then he's gonna finish it. It's like, oh, come on, because he finishes, and I think my title, who I really like, which I like, Revival. I think that is gonna be done soon. So I'm thinking this year is gonna be quite sad for me because a lot of things like I collect and I kind of feel passionate about is gonna finish. I know, like you want to know the story, this end of the storyline. Yeah. But you kind of like, but then you're not gonna see it anymore. Like.
That's right. Yeah.
So I guess we are always another title, but I'm just saying it's kind of when you like something and you enjoy it and you kind of wanted them to continue doing it, it's something that why not? It's a good thing. Why won't you stop it? But sometimes you have to go on a high note rather than a low note.
Well, that's just what I was gonna say. I mean, at least they do have an ending, and it's just not going on forever, and then you're just driving away from it because it just sucks. Yeah.
I'm waiting for that Velvet, but they always getting so short in between. Really, you have to wait so long in between issues.
Yeah.
The story is so good, and it's like, come on, it's so good. I want to know what's going on with her. It's a really perfect spy flick. I really like it. I mean, she's badass, and I like probably is the era. I mean, I always fascinated about older stuff rather than new stuff. Like the noir style I really like. Like that Drew Baker wrote that previous title, Fade Out. That's
right.
I loved it because of the way it was placed and the storyline was good. Ending was a bit weird, but in a way
that's
satisfying.
What Damien was saying as well, that the ending kind of just petered out a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't something like you wanted like a big bang kind of thing. Like you find out there's the big boss and then he's bastard or something like that. But the way he ended it, in a way, makes sense. Where you're making your question even more, or ask you to read it because you probably will understand it even more why he ended it this way. But you're like, when you read, like that's how nowadays readers is probably you want that kick, like ooh, bam, and you got it, like easy stuff without thinking. But I like those titles, like Revival has never been very flowy kind of thing. It's always you have to think before. So why did this happen? Why But I like that because it makes me think. It's not like dry. Sometimes
it engages you a little more. Yeah.
So you have superhero titles and you have those kind of titles, which superheroes is quick, fine, sorted, done. But those kind of titles, it just makes you think. So.
I'll just see. I think Tony's written a bunch here. He says that he'll definitely report about the show. And then Damien is here. Hello, Damien. Nice to sort of see you. And then Why Not Art is asking, has anyone read the Image book, The Disciplined, saying it's pretty crazy and sexual? And I've not even heard about it.
I mean, I have it. I'm waiting it in the post because there was some issues in shipping. I was just because it's Peter Milligan.
Oh, okay.
He wrote this. Yeah. So he's kind of weird. He also wrote Justice League Dark. So I was thinking I'm going to check it out. But the way it was, people are saying it's like 50 Shades of Grey, which doesn't sound really good to me. Yeah, because I've never read 50, or probably I've never read 50 Shades of Grey. I watched the movie. I didn't watch it in cinema. I watched the movie. I thought the movie was me.
Yeah.
But so hopefully it's not going to be too much of that. I just thought I don't like really looking at the book before I actually like to make my own opinion, but this time it seems to be just because the way the cover was, it's been a controversial as well, because you have you can see a bra kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, you've seen worse. I mean, you have Saga.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
You know, you have Saga, who's just perfect for those splash pages where you see balls hanging all like to the floor most of the point. So like, but I'll read it to have a look. But I heard that there was something saying that, and then now on eBay, of course, because somebody's saying about it, they increase the prices. So crazy. But
I would imagine that also. I mean, I know a bit of Peter Milligan stuff too. If it is him writing, I have a feeling that there will be some actual substance there. I mean, he's a pretty decent writer. Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
I've never heard of the book though.
Yeah, it just came out this week. That's why.
Okay.
It's image number 1.
Okay.
So,
Damien was saying, or no, sorry, Tony was saying that he agrees. The book is a lot like 50 Shades of Grey, but with creatures, is what he said.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna make up my new when I read it, but I don't really pick up number 1 titles anymore. As I say, I'm trying to reduce my pull, but somehow this one crossed my eyes, saw something or heard about it, and I was like, okay, I'll try to have a look.
Yeah.
Just because I recently picked up his Ecstatic title.
Yes.
So I guess maybe that's why I kind of remember his name and stuff like that. So, so it will be interesting to see and read it.
Do you pick up any new? You don't pick up new stuff anymore, do you, Spiro? Or do you? No. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah.
Well, I don't have a pull list anymore. I do try and still get, new stuff as back issues. Like every few months, I'll try and do an order, but money's been pretty tight. So.
When it's all been discounted, I imagine too is the bonus for you. Because of the shipping costs you so freaking much over there. So.
Well, sometimes they haven't been discounted a lot, but because I buy through Lone Star, and they'll sometimes have beaten up copies that are a bit cheaper, so I'll get those. So yeah, but the titles that I still try and keep up with mainly are Ninja Turtles, because Michael Dialinas has started drawing that as of issue 53. Love his art so much. So there was a bit of a gap before that issue for me, but I'm going to start to try and get it again. Conan, I've basically got all of the Dark Horse Conan, so that's one that I'll keep on getting. I just found out Usagi Yojimbo has just started again a few months ago, which I didn't know about. So
I think that's one that Jared Osborne picks up, if I'm not mistaken.
I got this. This was a 5-issue series that I picked up, and I couldn't find the 5th issue, so I bought the hardcover.
Oh, nice.
And I thought that this was just, he did this as a once-off, and that was it. But turns out he's back, and he's doing it as, the full series is continued. So
cool, very cool.
So because of the Teenage Mutant artist, Dialinas, I think his name, did you read The Woods?
Yes, loved it.
Are you keeping up with that one as well?
Yeah, that's one of the titles I'm getting as well. I've only read like the first 5 or 6 issues though, but I've been getting as many as I can.
Yeah. I'm reading Teenage Mutant Turtles. I mean, I like the main artist, which is on a break now. I forgot his name now. I don't recall.
Is that the one before that was kind of a sort of a subtle manga style?
It's the main guy from the almost 50 issues he's been there. I forgot his name.
Oh yeah, they changed.
Sorry, I don't recall. Yeah, but it's really good actors. Anyway, I like Turtles. I mean, Turtles has always been my cup of tea. Anyway, I started picking up really late because when I started picking up books, the title was already out, which is a pity. And I can't find the back issues, of course. You can't find back issues of Turtles. It's such a book that nobody sells it. I was actually speaking to one guy who's reading them as well, and I said to him, so, if one day you'll have to sell them, will you sell the Turtles books? He's like, nope. I said, what do you mean no? I mean, this is gonna be, and at the end with me, I'll have it, and he has all that, like old ones. He has number 1 third print, but he is like, oh, this is the best anyway, you know. But just likes the turtles. I mean, I like the turtles a lot, and I've been reading that title, and I really like it. I mean, the story flows really well. The characters actually quite, you know, like everything. It's just one of the books where like once a month of that book I know is coming out, I always say, oh, I'm gonna enjoy it anyway. So really good. I really like it. Yeah, it's
That's
really
pretty great that there's still stuff out there that people are clinging to, though, that there's just no way in hell I'm selling it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't even expect it because you have some people who, you know, at the end of the day you're not gonna keep up with those, or you're gonna have them at the end of the day. How many copies you're gonna have of your collection? But he said, no matter what happens, if some burns, I'll leave my wife behind. I'll take my comics with me.
Yeah.
That's what he. I was like, really? That's really bad. And my friend, his wife, she's like, no, you gotta take me first. So they have
Depends on how many comics she can carry. That's
they have this like little fight between each other, and it's like, oh, okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
Because when you grow up, I think I've noticed whatever I grew up with or watching, you know, when you're a child, it just stuck in your mind. It's stuck in your mind, and if you can keep on coming back to that point, it's a gold in my mind.
For sure. Yeah.
It's just like perfect. Always good imagination about those characters. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just in the comments here, Damien was saying that he was holding off on Discipline. He's a Milligan fan, but not clear on the subject matter, so trade will be fine for me. And then Tony says, I'm waiting for more juice to the story. Issue 2, please. He's asking if there's any new drawings. LahRasa, have you been doing any new art lately? And asks me as well, and I haven't been doing anything besides a secret project. Have you been doing any art lately, LahRasa? Have you?
I actually been struggling with my. I have problem with one vitamin, which drags my energy levels. So I've been actually struggling with that. I have like real low levels of energy, and I have to. Whatever happens. But so I've been drawing. I have one drawing. Actually painted something, but I haven't finished it. It's looking at me like right now. I can see it.
Yeah.
And it bugs me the hell out of me because I now want to finish it.
Yeah.
But
just turn it around. Just turn it around.
No, but you know, it's not. It's like, I'll show it to you a little bit of it.
Okay.
How do I? I'm just now thinking how I'm going to show it to you without spoiling. Let's see. That. You can see it.
Nice.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I could see. Yeah.
So that's one of a part of this. It's a bit bigger. So I've been painting and actually making a video.
Okay.
And I think that's why it's taking me that long. It usually does, because when you're drawing and you're making a video, it's a completely different story.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it has to be, for me, for example, when it happens to me, because I'm going to show you guys the video. I'm not saying that I want to be making perfect, but I can't, like, I always have to look at like bloody card if it's not, you know, the camera hasn't stopped. Because a couple of times while I was drawing this part, for example, I was concentrating so much on the drawing, and I forgot to look it up, and it was like half of the face which I drew is not there on the video because it stopped. I was like, oh, for God's sake. So there's that, but I've been trying to draw as much as, you know, like I usually tend to sketch more when I do actual finished stuff.
Yeah. But
yeah, I just can't sometimes, you know, like my head doesn't click sometimes, like I can be bothered. But yeah, I'm not finishing it. I'm not saying like I'm completely dumping it, but sometimes like finished stuff, it takes way much longer. Because you have to be, I like to be, you know, have this corner where I draw. It has to be everything the right amount of space and stuff like music and just because if I don't think, that's the thing with our brains. If you don't think, your drawings you just relaxed and you so much more beautiful lines you can draw. And I was reading this article saying about how, you know, how we are, but all of us could probably draw, but because our brains is basically what's stopping us from doing what we want, because we're overthinking. You know, like as a child, for example, when they draw, they don't think. They just scribble the lines and feel whatever they feel, and that's it. And they're having fun. But us now, we are analyzing, and oh, I just drew a curve, like, oh, this is not aligned properly. These eyes will look wonky. Start thinking. So I'm trying to get them like music, and just completely forget things, and then I don't do that. My drawings are shit. I feel like I have never drawn before.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny that you say that, though. I mean, especially now Lillian is drawing a lot more, and she loves playing with Play-Doh and things. And even in music that I've been involved with in the past, it's always been the thing of like trying to recapture that just being a kid and just approaching it like that, like not thinking about it, and specifically just approaching it with, this is just what it is. Don't think about everything that's attached to it. Don't think about your place within it. Just do it, And it's been kind of fun because I'll sit and draw with her or play Play-Doh with her and stuff. And just watching her, just even holding the pencil and getting really close to the paper to make these really small little ovals and stuff. It's still scribbling, but she has a story behind each of the little scribbles. This is Daddy. This is this. This is a whoa. This is a dog. It's great just watching her mind work as what she's piecing together. It's a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, well, that's why they keep on saying when you're drawing, especially, you have to keep on drawing, because if you don't, you stop it. It takes a really long time for you to go back at it because of basically your brain. Because you have that muscle memory, they're saying. But yes, it is muscle memory. I mean, you have to keep up the advanced levels. But to the point that everybody can draw is actually much more possible if we wouldn't think that much about what other people think first.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Just whatever, you have a piece of paper and you have a pen or pencil, whatever, just draw whatever comes out. And those doodles, some people who doodling, for example, they make such an amazing pieces of art because they just don't care what is on the piece of paper. And that's what come out. So for me, sometimes I just struggle with the brain, and you have that block, artist block is called. When you can't. There's a day I was at work actually 2 days ago, and I was having a pencil and a sketchbook, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna sketch something. I sketched something as like stick figure. It was so stiff because I was so angry because I didn't know what's going on in my head. I was guess what, and I really wanted oh bloody hell, I can't even show that to people. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Do you keep a sketchbook as well? Like, do you have something where you can just do these little, practice? Yeah.
Also, where is it? Bloody hell. I had it somewhere.
I'll just kind of, while you're digging there, J-Rox is saying that if we start a graphic novel chat, I'm assuming, maybe he means for the book club, Spiro, let me know what titles we plan on doing. I'd say it's worth coming over to the message board as well, Jay, and signing up for that. Like I said, I'll make sure that I put a link in this one. And recommend, suggest that kind of thing if that's what you want to get into as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been thinking about that as well, and I've got a few unread graphic novels and a few others that I don't have that I want to get. So, yeah, absolutely. Jump on, throw ideas at us, even if it's not one that we're going to read or anything. Just let us know what you're reading and just your thoughts on them. And a lot of those things, like Roberta Loaf has been posting books, and it's even if they're not going to be book club things, there's a lot there that I want to grab and read, anyway. So
yeah. And then just on the art tip there, Tony was saying that the only completed art that I worked on was for my kids at school. It was a painting and collage project about peace. Turned out great, and he says that he loves that art piece, LahRasa. And Damien was saying, I've been thinking lately as my daughter gets bigger how to keep her from becoming self-conscious about her drawings and other endeavors. It's sad to lose that youthful joy. I like to buy new drawing materials so I can think about the fun of a new tool instead of analyzing my skills. That's a pretty good point, yeah. Trying something different that you haven't used before just to think about the drawing, yeah. So sorry, you have sketchbook.
So, yeah, I keep this.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever sketchbook you can have anyway. I keep it in my bag when I go to work. It's basically every single time when I go on lunch, I open my bag and just basically remind me, okay, you could go and have a bloody drawing. It doesn't take very long time.
And it's just filled with stick figures, is it, from page 1 to...
Yeah. It's just, it's basically training your eyes, and, you know, like you have a man flying or whatever, doing and kind of thing, like whatever. But, you know, sometimes you come out and you, like, do your self-portrait, and that's my self-portrait of me being sick at work, which is fantastic. But yeah, so sometimes you just do whatever. You know, I took a picture of myself. I never do self-drawings because, you know, you feel self-conscious. Or, you know, at the end of the day, people say when you're drawing, you know, you never know what's going to be on a piece of paper, but that's what's in your head. So I kind of didn't really want to know how I feel about myself, but I was feeling really shitty at work when I was like, I took a picture, and actually was while I was taking a picture, I actually was blowing my nose, and that's the picture I took. I was like, what the hell is this? So I drew myself blowing nose, which is pretty. And so I like a lot of eyes and expressions, or trying to get better at it. So
nice. Yeah, those are great. Yeah.
Or, you know, I see about an artist and I try something completely weird, you know, just taking out something like that. So this is my, you know, it's a sketchbook. You know, like what people are showing nowadays. You see on YouTube. Oh, let's open my sketchbook, and every single piece of thing on the sketchbook is finished artwork. What kind of sketchbook? Yes, I do have finished. Like I have finished stuff where I find that the female I drew or something like that, or my mood came to me like I feel like yawning, so I did the Chaplin.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Chaplin being yawning in that time. That's what I felt. But a sketchbook shouldn't be your finished artwork gallery kind of thing. Yeah. Like Bowie died, and I've just had this emotion of him being like who he is, and probably doesn't look like him, but it didn't matter in that time. I just wanted to have that, you know, kind of put that emotion in a piece of paper. So. So I tried to keep it up, but some days, you know, when you work, it gets so tired of work shit. So this is actually quite helpful, but sometimes your brain is not there. Even that cannot keep, like you, as I say, brain is a funny thing where it's most of the time it's you the one who basically stopping you from being what you want to be.
Yeah, stopping your creativity, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, you know, you want to be the greatest at what you do. And another thing, what keeps me up with my art is Instagram. It's a thing where people are so good, and it makes me so angry. But in that point where I get really angry, so bloody hell, I can draw. So let's just bloody do it. Yeah. You know, what can you do with this stuff?
Yeah, but, exactly. Know, just turn it all off.
I would love to have a switch. You know, you have a back of your head, you have like a switch, like a light bulb, switch it off, start doing stuff, you know, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But unfortunately it doesn't, so.
No. Yeah. Tony's saying with art, it's not about being perfect. When you think too much about it, you lose that part that wants to express the fun, in his opinion. And then he's saying to Spiro, I saw a nice run of Asterix comics at a vintage poster shop. I thought about you when I saw it. Was Asterix a title that you were into at a point, or?
No, he's probably talking about Obelix.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Fun cartoon.
Ponytailed friend, yeah, or pigtailed, I guess, or braided.
I think I'm gonna have to go. It's almost like 10 o'clock here, so.
Yeah, I've got to get going as well too. Lily's gonna be up right away. Thanks very much for chatting with us, everybody. I appreciate it in the chat room there. Thanks very much, guys, for taking some time out to come and hang out. We'll try to do it again. Don't go away yet. I'll just push the big red button, and then thanks everybody for watching.
Bye to all the watchers.
Okay, bye.